Good morning, everybody. 6:30. Breakfast today with Sally Nugent and John Kay.
Now, if you are a teenager or young person considering your future career, how do you decide what is your best option?
Should you go to university? Do you do an apprenticeship? Do you even go it alone? Maybe try to start your own business? There are kind of risks and positives with all of them, aren't there?
Yeah, lots of options. Nina is in Leeds this morning, looking at all the possibilities on the table. Morning, Nina.
Yes, good morning from this table where I'm chatting to Adele and Neil. Proud mum moment here because Adele's son Adam set up this cafe on his own. You are proud, aren't you?
Very. Yeah, extremely proud.
And he's always had it in him, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, very, very proud.
Thank you very much. Let's go and meet him. I promise I won't put her on the telly, but she wanted to say how proud she was of him. Come and have a chat with us. Because you set this place up when you were 23.
22.
22.
Yeah.
Why not go down the academic route?
It was never for me. I was always sat in a classroom and I always thought, you know, this just isn't for me. I want to go and get real life experience from real life people, and that's how I learn. I learn from people. So that's why I decided to take the plunge, drop out of sixth form, go and work full time, and I've never looked back ever since.
And it's absolutely thriving here. When you went to the bank and said, can I have a bank loan? I'm 22 years old to set up a new business. What was their response?
Well, it's not an easy process.
No.
So going to the bank, obviously, it requires a lot of work,
Yeah.
especially at such a young age. So in order to get an approved loan from them, you need to create a very thorough business plan alongside some, a very thorough cash flow forecast. You need to give a lot of information about yourself, and after about a 4-week process, then they might look into approving the loan. But
I mean, you would book this cynical attitude that young people are work shy, that they lack resilience, because you've demonstrated all the characteristics of being able to make it.
Yeah.
There is this conversation at the moment around national service about whether that's the answer to perhaps giving young people more opportunity. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's absolutely right. I think everyone needs to go out there and get the real life experience, because at the end of the day, you'd never know what doors are going to open when you go through them. So you need to go out there, learn from people, and then decide what you might want to do in later life. But I think it's definitely the way forward, because people are stuck in this bubble at the moment. Like I said, there's social media, there's technology, and there's this perception of people that they need to get out of the social bubble. Yeah.
School's not for everyone, though, is it?
Yeah.
And there are some of those dismissive attitudes. Thank you, Adam,
Absolutely,
to young
pleasure.
people in the UK. But the statistics tell a different story. I want to talk you through some of them. So around 2/3 of 16 to 18-year-olds in the UK are in education or training. Around 6.5% are in apprenticeships, or another 6.5% in employment training. And at the end of 2023, listen to this, youth unemployment was just 12%. Now that is way below the EU average, and it's actually one of the very lowest in the developed world. They say there is a job out there for most people. Find something you love and it won't feel like work. And that's what Beth did in York when, this might surprise you, she became the city's youngest undertaker.
Ever since I remember, my dad has been an embalmer, so I've always known about death. So I've always met funeral directors, met embalmers, and I knew from quite a young age that, I think this is something that I want to do and like to be involved in, helping people. My family were really, really supportive. They were really happy that that's what I wanted to do. My friends, they weren't too sure what to say. To them, it's taboo. They don't really want to know about it. I was very lucky. Getting into the funeral industry is really, really difficult. You have to start from the bottom, maybe being a bearer for a company once a week. I do help care for people's loved ones, so I will help dress them, get them ready for chapel visits. I also help on funerals, bearing, and I'll arrange and conduct funerals. I always get nervous for my funerals. I don't know what it is, but I feel if I didn't get nervous, I wouldn't be doing it right. If younger people want to get in the industry, I think just do it. Just apply for a bearing job or a casual hour job and just start at the bottom and work yourself up.
And you can guarantee there will always be business in that trade. That's one area that's guaranteed. Come and meet Elizabeth. She's taken on an apprenticeship role for Northern Rail on the trains. Why did you decide to move away from the academic route? Why not to stay on at school?
I never really got on with school while I was there, so it was the perfect opportunity for me to have the mix between classroom-based learning and practical learning in the actual workplace, where I can get hands-on experience and get experience passed down from guys that have been there a lot longer than I have, to give me all the skills that I need to do the job full-time, hopefully one day.
And what does it look like day to day, your job?
While I'm in college, it's split between classroom-based learning and practical workshop skills. There's nothing really rail specific, but we do learn the basic skills that we need that we can put into all the everyday work once we're at the depot. And whilst we're in the actual depots, or train care centres as they're now called, we learn skills to do with the actual trains so that we can carry out the maintenance and repair jobs required for them when we're there full time.
It sounds like such a brilliant mix compared to just sitting in a classroom. I know one of your colleagues has got everyone at the depot watching this morning, so a very good morning to you. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. You've been really inspirational, as has Adam this morning, proving the cynics wrong, as the statistics did. And I said to Adele earlier, was it always in him, the entrepreneurial spirit? And she said, is this true, Adam? When you were little, you made your own sister pay for her own pen in order to do her homework.
Well, I had a tuck shop.
Stationery?
Tuck shop. I had a tuck shop at home. So, you know, should my sister want a slice of paper, a pen, I'd charge her 20p, 30p, and, you know, and that's, you've got to get by, you see.
Your poor sister, though, having to buy a pen to do her own homework.
It got a buy anyway, she got it, whether it would return damage or not, because, we put deposits down for her as well, so if she didn't have the money, then she could put 50p deposit down and pay me next week or anything like that, but we did that.
Well, it shows that you had that business spirit from the very get-go. You must be very proud of that as well, Adele, were you?
Very.
We'll be back later on talking through some of the options available to young people if they don't decide to go down the academic route, like Adam and Elizabeth. But, you know, lots of cynicism at the moment, lots of people feeling like there's not a lot of optimism around, so hopefully these two have given you something to brighten your morning.
Adam has cheered us right up.
Yeah.
What a businessman.
I'm just wondering if his sister's decided to go down the academic route, if she still has to pay for the pen. I don't know, we'll find out. If you're Adam's sister, get in touch. What a full story this morning.
Also, 30p for a pen, that's a lot for a kid. That's too
Regular
expensive.
business,
Yes.
returning business when you're at school. Chetan has joined us on the sofa with the sport.
My sister used to steal the remote and then hide it and then make me pay her to watch stuff like the tennis, for example. That was her side hustle.
Now, if you are a teenager or a young person considering your future career, or here's a big question, how do you decide what's your best option?
So many options, aren't there? More options
Or are
than...
there? Yeah, maybe too many now.
Yeah, so many choices, if not options. And, you know, should you stay in education, go to university? There are apprenticeships, aren't there? Some people even wanted to go it alone, start their own business. That means loans and all that.
Nina is out in Leeds this morning, and I have to say she's at a very nice cafe where it looks like they do very nice breakfasts. Morning, Nina.
They do indeed, Sally. I have been sampling them. You'll be amazed to learn. Good morning from Bricklebanks in Leeds, in Chapel Allerton. Come and have a look. How often on breakfast do I talk about how difficult it is at the moment setting up and maintaining a hospitality business? That's what Adam did at the age of 22. He decided academia wasn't for him. You dropped out of school at 17.
I did, yeah. I just felt, you know, it wasn't for me. I wanted to go work for myself and then managed to get that done at the age of 22.
And here we are, managed to secure the business loan, managed to make it thrive. No regrets?
No regrets. Last month we won an award and we're nominated for a couple more awards as well.
Congratulations. And this is Tegan, who's been working with Adam from the get-go. There's a reputation for lots of young people saying they never stick at things, they're quite flaky, there's no resilience. But you've been here since it opened.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you've always stuck at work, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I left school and went travelling instead of going into university. But yeah, I've stuck at this job for quite a while.
And you decided that academia wasn't for you either?
No, definitely not.
And I just want to... That's okay, because it's not for everyone. And this is Helen. Tegan's mum. He said she was one of the cleverest kids in a year, but just decided to do something different and come into hospitality and see the world.
That's it. I think she likes working, she likes earning some money, and she wants to travel. So I think she always had massive potential to go on to university, but chose not to take that route.
And it's not for everyone. And
No,
Tony, where's Tony Grandad, said, describes her as a free spirit. She
Yes,
said,
she is,
you've always had her back and said, if you don't want to go to university...
You've got to enjoy your life.
Absolutely. And she's paying her own way.
And she's working hard, yeah, and that's the important thing, I think.
It really is. And she's happy.
She looks it.
She really does, as are we this morning. And we've been happy looking at the statistics because often young people do get a bad reputation in the UK, but the statistics tell a different story. Have a listen to this. So 2/3 of 16 to 18-year-olds are in education or training. 6.5% roughly are in apprenticeships and a similar percentage in education, in employment training. By the end of last year, youth unemployment was below 12%. Now, that is the lowest in the EU, way lower than the EU average, and one of the very lowest in the developed world, which shows you that young people across the UK are throwing themselves into many different paths. Now, they say there's something out there for everybody when it comes to employment, and they also say maybe choose a trade that you know will always exist. That's what Beth did in York, and she's now become the city's youngest, wait for it, undertaker.
Ever since I remember, my dad has been an embalmer, so I've always known about death. So I've always met funeral directors, met embalmers, and I knew from quite a young age that, I think this is something that I want to do and like to be involved in, helping people. My family were really, really supportive. They were really happy that that's what I wanted to do. My friends, they weren't too sure what to say. To them, it's taboo. They don't really want to know about it. I was very lucky. Getting into the funeral industry is really, really difficult. You have to start from the bottom, maybe being a bearer for a company once a week. I do help care for people's loved ones, so I will help dress them, get them ready for chapel visits. I also help on funerals, bearing, and I'll arrange and conduct funerals. I always get nervous for my funerals. I don't know what it is, but I feel if I didn't get nervous, I wouldn't be doing it right. If younger people want to get in the industry, I think just do it. Just apply for a bearing job or a casual hour job and just start at the bottom and work yourself up.
Probably sit there, is that right? Well, thank you very much, Beth, for talking to us, and fantastic to carry on that family trade. Come and meet Rabia, who's 18 and decided to go for an apprenticeship with Specsavers. What was behind that decision? Because most of your pals have gone on to university.
Yeah, I just knew that I wanted to start working and earning and just gaining hands-on work experience. Yeah.
And how do you feel about being customer facing? Because that can be quite intimidating, facing the public for the first time.
I mean, obviously there are nerves, but I just feel like being confident and gaining the ropes will just help me. Yeah.
And some of your pals at university might say you're missing out on a big life experience by not going and by not moving away. What would you say to that?
I think people just don't see all of the advantages that there are to apprenticeships, and that there's just more to what you see.
And Diana, you're principal of a local college. Do you agree with Rabia? There's more to the eye, that more than meets the eye with apprenticeships.
I think there's far more opportunities. I think there's a lot of young people who want to go straight into employment, who want to start and earn money, and who want to have a more adult life. I think university's great if that's what you want to do, but it's not the only option.
Are perceptions changing? Because when I was 18, there was quite a lot of snobbery around apprenticeships. Is that shifting?
I think it is. I think that the cost of living crisis probably supports that. I think that there's lots of people who now need to go out to work, who want to start their career, and who now need to contribute to their family incomes. And that's an impetus for a lot of people. But for others, it's just that eagerness to get onto the employment ladder, to start building a career, and to get them on the pathway to a successful, sustainable future.
To what extent, Rabia, are you and your pals worrying about money at the moment?
I mean, of course, yeah, with the cost of living crisis, there's issues, but we're just trying to manage with what we can, yeah.
Yeah, and you will have that money in your pocket very soon, won't you?
Yeah.
And finally, Diana, what challenges are out there in recruitment when it comes to teaching young people and making sure they have these opportunities?
We need to be able to recruit the best teachers into the sector. We want to welcome in people who are sector experts in their industry, and that's particularly difficult at the moment because there's a general recruitment and retention crisis in the sector because the sector has been underfunded for over a decade, which means that teachers' salaries in colleges is less than in schools. It makes it more challenging for us to invest in resources, but really it's about how do we attract the best teachers into the sector. We want to be able to attract industry experts, and to do that we need to be able to compete in terms of salaries as well.
Yeah, and the government say they have invested in teachers' salaries and they are making them more competitive. Thank you to you both, and thank you to everyone for having us. I've just spotted the rest of my breakfast here. So rudely interrupted, so that I had to do some broadcasting. But they've been wonderful here this morning. I think it's been a real reflection of Adam's business and the part it plays in the community, that people were down here from 5:45 to come and show their support. So congratulations to you, Adam. And the statistics show you, don't they, John and Sally, that despite the cynicism around young people, they're really out there grafting and trying to carve their way in the world.
So true.
The
Now just get back to my
statistics
sausage.
also tell us that you will do anything for a free breakfast. Go anywhere, look at that. Sorry to disturb your morning, Nina.
Oh, it
It's
looks
research,
so nice.
John.
Oh, she definitely wins this morning, doesn't she? That
Every
breakfast
morning.
looked gorgeous. I'm particularly hungry now.
Well done to Adam and all the team there. Good to hear those stories.